Dylann Roof was born on April 3rd, 1994, in Columbia, South Carolina. He grew up moving between his divorced parents' homes, dropping out of school, and struggled with drugs as well as unemployment. During this time, he became radicalized online, immersing himself in white supremacist forums and neo-Confederate ideology. On June 17, 2015, Roof entered the Emanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church, a historic black church in Charleston. He sat with parishioners during a Bible study for about 45 minutes before opening fire. 9 black worshipers were killed, including the senior pastor and South Carolina Senator Clementa Pinckney. Survivors recalled Roof saying he carried out the murders to start a race war. Roof fled the scene in his black Hyundai Elantra car, but police quickly identified him using surveillance footage. His father and uncle recognized him on the news. A multi-state manhunt followed, with his image broadcast across television and social media. The police knew what his name was, thanks to phone calls done by the father and uncle. 13 hours later, a woman in Shelby, North Carolina, spotted Roof's car and called 911. Police stopped him during a traffic stop around 10:45 a.m. He had been on the run overnight. He was arrested without resistance. Inside his car, the police found the .45 caliber Glock pistol used in the shooting. Roof was briefly held at the Shelby police station, where investigators spoke to him. That was before first appearing in court. His extradition hearing took place before Judge Ali Paxoy, serving the Cleveland County District Court. The judge later described the proceedings as hurried. Roof chose to represent himself in this process, and there was no prosecutor present due to him waiving extradition, agreeing to return to South Carolina. That same day, U.S. Marshals took him to the Charlotte Douglas International Airport. From there, he was flown to Charleston and picked up by the Charleston County Sheriff's Office, who took him to his place of booking, the Al Cannon Detention Center. At this point, 2 criminal probes were underway, one of them state, the other federal. Charleston County Prosecutor Brenda O'Donnell presented the state's case to a grand jury, while federal prosecutor Randy Seals brought the federal probe before a federal grand jury in Charleston. On June 18, 2015, Dylann Roof made his first appearance virtually from the detention center before Charleston County Circuit Judge Clifton Newman. He was ordered to remain behind bars to await trial without bond. The state grand jury indicted Roof on 9 counts of capital murder. Later, the prosecution added 3 more attempted murder felonies and 1 felony weapons offense. Meanwhile, the federal grand jury returned a 33-count indictment. These included 12 hate crime offenses, 12 obstruction offenses, and 9 firearms offenses. All felonies. Prosecutors announced they would seek the death penalty. That was as to the capital hate crimes offenses. Roof received legal representation in both cases. Ashley Pennington and William McGuire as public defenders in the state case. David Brooke and Michael Hallowell as public defenders in the federal case. Hallowell later stepped down due to its complexity, being replaced by James McGarrity. Additional prosecutors joined both sides. Scott Price and Catherine Lewis in state court, Brian Sterling, Annie St. Clair, and Jennifer Forston in federal court. Roof was arraigned at the Charleston Federal Court on July 20th, 2015, before federal magistrate Bristow Marchant. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges. In state court, he did the same before Charleston County Chief Magistrate Skip Gosnell. The federal trial came first, beginning on December 7th, 2016. Roof appeared before U.S. District Judge Richard Gurgel. During the trial, he chose to represent himself, parting ways with his attorneys. On December 15, 2016, he was found guilty on all 33 charges. And the following month, on the 10th of January, he was sentenced to death. In 2017, Roof entered a plea deal that was in April of that year for the state case. To avoid a second death penalty trial, he pleaded guilty to 9 counts of murder. Judge Newman sentenced him immediately to 9 consecutive life in prison terms without parole. As part of the deal, Roof waived his right to appeal the case. He did appeal the federal case. Attorneys argued ineffective assistance of counsel, judicial bias, and trial errors. In August 2021, the Richmond, Virginia Federal Appeals Court upheld both his convictions and death sentence, rejecting all claims. Families of the victims and survivors sued the federal government, claiming that the FBI failed to properly enforce the national background check system, which allowed Roof to purchase the gun used in the massacre. In October 2021, the DOJ reached an $88 million settlement with them. Separately, survivors filed lawsuits against major platforms like Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Meta, alleging their algorithms prompted extremist content that fueled Roof's radicalization. This matter was dismissed in February 2025. The decision was made due to insufficient evidence by that Richmond, Virginia appeals court. In the U.S. Congress, Representative Benny Thompson called for hearings on domestic terrorism, pointing to Roof's radicalization as a product of online propaganda. Although no hearings were successfully scheduled, later congressional sessions did take up the issue. The House passed the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act in 2022, but the bill was blocked by the Senate. Today, Dylann Roof remains on federal death row at the federal penitentiary Terre Haute in Indiana. Strawberry Ink is no place for the white supremacy, especially the white devils. If anybody is messing with you, reach out at strawberryink6@gmail.com. Email that. Till next time, may those affected rest in peace. Take care, stay safe, and have a good rest of your day.